I'm Peter Bassett, Astronomy Roadshow Mobile Planetarium. Today we're going to talk about the so-called mystery as to why there's no stars in any of these photographs taken on the moon or in lunar orbit or even actually in Earth orbit today. How come there's no stars there? Well, you've got a dark sky there simply because there's no atmosphere on the moon. That much is correct so far. So where are the stars then? Where are they gone? Anyway, there's a book out, quite a popular one of my favourites, called Bang. And anyway, I've actually got this signed, in fact, all three authors, Chris Lintott, Patrick Moore, and the one and only Brian May. I've got some of his records around somewhere. Anyway, this particular image, one of my favourites, called Earthrise, taken by the crew of Apollo 8. Frank Borman, in fact, got his autograph on the bottom there. Anyway, so it's correctly exposed for the Earth, correctly exposed for the moon, but no stars. Where are they? Okay, they should be there, the dark sky, so why not? Okay, the correct answer is actually involved in photography itself and the kind of film that was used and the camera settings. And I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so we've got a shot of the Milky Way. I took that in Arizona actually last year. In fact, my wife and I actually bought a parcel of land out there in order just to do this sort of thing. Okay, it's great stuff, great for wildlife watching and all sorts, but it's ready for the night sky. Anyway, if you're interested in more photographs of this, northstaroasis.co.uk, I've got loads of these published on there. But how was this actually taken though? If you used the film that was used on the moon, you got a problem. Okay, it wasn't sensitive enough for night photography, and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, 80 ISO, that's the film that was used. ISO is a measurement of the sensitivity of the film itself. Same occurs with digital these days, same standards. Anyway, so with that film, the exposure for daylight was 125th of a second, right? And at f8, f11's regarding the aperture, if you're into photography, you know what I'm referring to. But anyway, if you want to image the stars at f8, f11 with the same film, you've got a slight problem. The stars are so much fainter than broad daylight, in a much longer exposure. Instead of 125th of a second, you now need 240 seconds just for a few stars to come out. So let's do a calculation then of the factor involved. So you've got 125/125ths of a second in 1 second, multiply it by 240, or 4 minutes, and it's a factor of 30,000. So the astronauts were given 1/30,000th of the exposure required for a few stars to come out. But if you want the Milky Way to come out, it's harder still. Okay, I'll give you an example. What you can do is to upgrade the ISO setting. So change a film in those days, or change the ISO setting on your camera manually. Look it up in the manual, it's got on there how to do it. And okay, most of these PCs do have that facility. PC, by the way, proper camera. Okay, anyway, so if you want to image a few stars, just a handful, you need to change the ISO setting to 1600. And so you've now got 16 times sensitivity if you uprate the 80 ISO to 100, just to round it off. Therefore, it's 240 seconds divided by 16, because you've got 16 times sensitivity, 15 seconds. And a few stars will come out. But for the Milky Way, it's a lot tougher. It's so much fainter compared to the brightest stars. And you've got to change the settings yet again. Anyway, for the Milky Way, now change the ISO setting to 3200. Most of these cameras do have that setting. This one goes up to 6400. Anyway, you've got 60-second exposure this time for the Milky Way, and at f8, and same what's used on the moon. So it's 32 times sensitivity, times 125, because 525ths of a second in 1 second, times by 60, the answer now is 240,000. Right. So the factor involved is that. So the astronauts were given a 240,000th of the exposure required for the Milky Way. So no wonder why it didn't come out. Do you know what I mean? They're just so much fainter than broad daylight. And this picture was taken with that same exposure, 3200 ISO, and that's taken the fisheye lens. The detail of Milky Way really has come out there. Just demonstrating, I know what I'm talking about. Try it yourself if you don't believe me. Alright, that's all you've got to do, it's quite easy. Anyway, so if you really want to take your own pictures, just to prove to yourself of these facts and figures, change the ISO setting to 3200 at least, and okay, you need a cable release on your camera, put it on a tripod, don't touch it, otherwise you'll blow the picture, and all you do is set it for 60 seconds, and click away. Oh, right, that's 2.5, otherwise you get bored, but you get the idea, don't you? And anyways, have a go at that, and your picture should come out like this. Now you will have some light pollution in it, you'll have some other problems with it, but you can clean it all up using software. A lot of it is freely downloadable. There's a book that I use for reference, The Art of Astro-photography by Ian Morrison. That's a really good one. Loads of free downloads, softwares that can help out with this to bring out the best in your images. But you don't have to, it's just an extra add-on. If you want to know more about whether moon landings were real or not, or any more of these discrepancies, so-called discrepancies, between the lunar photography and the lunar cinematography as well, the videos on the moon, just to prove there's nothing wrong with them at all. And there's a book out on it, it's called The Great Moon Landing Hoax, or Was It? And anyway, it gives lots of tips and things. Ideas, the correct explanations of all these things, about why the lunar mountains look different to ours, and about the lunar rover, about how it actually worked on the moon. It couldn't even work on Earth because of its ways and so on. Anyway, there's lots of stuff in there, and it's by a chap called Peter Bassett. Oh yes, me, sorry about that. Okay. Anyway, so I wrote that book some years ago. I keep updating it 2 or 3 times a year. And if you wanted to see some more information on this, moonlandinghoax.org, yes, mine as well. And all my books are available on outerspacebooks.com. There's 3 versions of every book, include a colour, black and white, and e-book version as well. And anyway, just browse that, and hopefully it will help you out with any queries you may have regarding whether moon landings were real or not. They were real, I guarantee it, 100%. Okay. Right, thank you for watching, and okay, good luck. Thank you.